When a millionaire prisoner holds the keys to his own cell, the jailer loses every ounce of bargaining power. And right now, the general manager of the Nashville Predators just found out that his biggest offensive investment has turned into his worst backstage nightmare. The news shaking the foundations of the Bell Center today is nothing short of a homecoming dream. Habs Nation. We're talking about the repatriation of our prodigal son, a native of Quebec, Jonathan Marchessault. The hockey news dropped the bombshell that he's a priority target for Montreal, and the headache he's causing in Nashville might just be the sharpest weapon in Kent Hughes' arsenal. Marchessault has had a brutal year in the tactical wasteland that is Nashville. Just 17 points on the season. A far cry from the playoff assassin we've seen tear through the fences in the past. But here's the twist that flips the entire board. He holds the ultimate trump card, a full no-move clause. The karma for Nashville completely derailing his game is that now he has the power to block any trade he doesn't like. And the swift justice of hockey is delivering a clear message. Marchessault is ready to veto every destination except one, the Montreal Canadiens. That forces Nashville's hand. They have to sell him at a discount to our front office. It's the perfect heist. So today, we're going to slice into this potential steal. We'll break down why Marchessault, even after a down year, could be the playoff killer this roster desperately needs, how Nashville's collapse plays right into our hands, and what it would mean to bring a hometown hero back to Quebec at a bargain price. But before we dive into the details, I'm putting you in the GM's chair for a gut check decision. You've got the chance to bring Jonathan Marchessault home, along with his $5.5 million cap hit. Do you pull the trigger for that proven playoff instinct, that clutch scoring touch he's shown time and again, trusting he can rebound in a system that fits him? Or do you look at those measly 17 points this season, see a red flag, and run from what could be a trap waiting to sink your cap space? Think hard, because the Bell Center doesn't forgive mistakes, and the trade deadline doesn't wait for second guesses. Let's start with the mess in Music City. Nashville thought they could buy their way to glory last summer. They threw big money at big names, hoping to patch the holes left by past mistakes. They signed Marchessault to be a cornerstone, a proven winner fresh off the Stanley Cup with Vegas, a guy who could light up the scoreboard and carry the torch for a franchise trying to stay relevant. But hockey doesn't work like a video game. You can't just plug in stars and expect instant chemistry. The Predators' grand experiment flopped. The system didn't fit. The team underperformed, and Marchessault, once a consistent 30-goal threat, found himself lost in a structure that suffocated his strengths. 17 points. That's not just a slump. It's a disaster for a player of his pedigree. But numbers don't tell the whole story. Watch the tape. He's still got the hands. He's still got the hockey IQ. He's still got that knack for finding space in high-danger areas. What he doesn't have is a team or a coach maximizing what he does best. Nashville broke him this year. Not age, not injury, just a bad fit. And now, their mistake is our opportunity. Because of that full no-move clause, Marchessault isn't just a player on the trade block. He's a player who gets to pick his landing spot. He can say no to 31 other teams if he wants. And according to the Hockey News, the word behind closed doors is clear. He's ready to veto everyone except Montreal. A return to Quebec, to a passionate market, to a team on the rise with a system that can unlock him again. That's the only destination he's willing to sign off on. That's a game changer. It strips Nashville of leverage. They can't auction him off to the highest bidder. They can't pit teams against each other to drive up the price. If Marchessault is dead set on Montreal, and only Montreal, then the Predators are backed into a corner. They either deal him to us at a discount, or they're stuck with disgruntled star eating up $5.5 million of cap space on a team already spiraling toward a rebuild. This is where Kent Hughes can play the role of highway robber. Nashville's desperation, combined with Marchessault's veto power, means the asking price could be shockingly low. We're not talking about a first-round pick here. We're not talking about a top prospect like Lane Hutson or David Reinbacher. This could be a second-rounder, maybe a third-rounder plus a mid-tier name for a player who, in the right environment, could easily snap back to 25 or 30 goals. That's a steal. But let's talk about the fit, because that's where this gets exciting. Marchessault isn't just a scorer. He's a pressure performer. This is a guy who was a key piece of Vegas Cup run, who scored clutch goals in elimination games, who thrives when the stakes are highest. He's not a one-dimensional sniper waiting for setups. He's a worker. He forechecks hard. He battles in tight spaces. And he's got a nose for the net that doesn't disappear just because of one bad season. Imagine him on a line with Nick Suzuki. Suzuki's vision and playmaking paired with Marchessault's finishing and tenacity, that's a duo that could feast on second-tier matchups. Or slot him with a young gun like Ivan Demidov in the future. Marchessault taking the physical punishment along the boards while Demidov dances through open ice. And don't forget the power play. Marchessault has a quick release and a knack for finding soft spots in coverage. He could be the missing piece to push our man advantage from decent to deadly. Then there's the emotional angle. A kid from Quebec City, born and raised in the heart of hockey country, coming home to wear the blue, blanc, et rouge. That's not just a transaction. That's a story. That's the kind of move that ignites a fan base, that gets 21,000 people on their feet before the puck even drops. It's the kind of signing that can shift the energy in a locker room, reminding everyone what this jersey means. But it's not all rose-colored glasses. That $5.5 million cap hit isn't pocket change. It's a real commitment, especially for a player coming off a 17-point season. Yes, the contract runs through 2027, which is an eternity, but it's long enough that if Marchessault does rebound, if this year wasn't a fluke, but the start of decline, you're stuck with a pricey underperformer while trying to pay the next wave of young stars like Slavkovsky and Demidov. And there's the question of fit in Martin St. Louis' system. Marchessault isn't a 200-foot player in the mold of a Ryan O'Reilly. He's an offensive weapon first, a guy who needs a puck on his stick and space to operate. If St. Louis can't carve out a role where he's insulated from heavy defensive responsibility, you risk exposing his weaknesses. You risk turning him into a liability on nights when the goals aren't coming. Then there's the opportunity cost. Even a discounted trade from Marchessault means giving up something: draft capital, a prospect, cap flexibility. Is he worth it when you could potentially wait for a younger, cheaper winger in free agency? Or pivot to a different need, like a center or a defenseman with the same assets? This is the tightrope Kent Hughes is walking. On one hand, a hometown hero with a Conn Smythe trophy and a history of rising to the occasion, available at a bargain because of a unique contractual situation. On the other, a 32-year-old winger coming off a career-worst season, carrying a cap hit that could sting if the gamble doesn't pay off. But here's the thing about hockey at this level. Sometimes the difference between a good team and a great one is a single player who knows how to win when it matters. Marchessault has been that player before. The question is whether he can be again, and whether Montreal is the place to make it happen. So I'm tossing the GM's playbook right into your hands. You got the chance to bring Jonathan Marchessault back to Quebec. Nashville is over a barrel, forced to deal at a discount because of his no-move clause and his insistence on Montreal as his destination. The framework is likely a second-round pick, maybe a third, and a depth piece. His cap hit is $5.5 million through 2027. Do you greenlight the deal, banking on his playoff killer instinct, his ability to rebound in a system that suits him, and the emotional lift of a hometown return? Or do you look at those 17 points, see a warning sign of decline, and walk away from what could be a cap trap way to bite you in 2 years? There's no middle ground here. You're either in or out on this heist. Drop your call in the comments. Lay out your reasoning. Would you take the swing? And if so, what's the most you'd pay in picks or prospects? Or are you slamming the door shut no matter how cheap he comes? Because the risk outweighs the reward? The Bell Center is watching. It's relentless, and it demands answers. And don't even think about tuning out, because while we're plotting this potential homecoming, there's thick smoke rising over another deal. A frontline guard dog, a true heavyweight, might be landing in Quebec within the next few hours. The details are murky, but the implications are massive. We'll break that wide open in the next video. Stay locked in.